Cooper slammed the door of his beat-up Ford pickup, the engine coughing to life like an old friend reluctant to rally. The wipers slapped futilely against the relentless Pacific Northwest rain, blurring the neon signs of Capitol Hill's dive bars and coffee shops that had become his fragile kingdom. At 35, Cooper Whitaker was a man who'd learned to build walls higher than the Space Needle. But tonight, those walls felt as thin as the dollar bill burning a hole in his jeans pocket. His 5-year-old son, Milo, was buckled in the back, oblivious to the storm outside or the one raging in his dad's chest, humming along to a scratched-up playlist of indie folk tunes. "Daddy, why's your face all grumpy like the troll under the bridge?" Milo asked, his wide blue eyes mirror images of Cooper's own, peeking from under a hood too big for his mop of curly brown hair. The kid had inherited Harlan's stubborn chin but none of the venom. Thank God. Cooper forced a smile that didn't reach his eyes, glancing in the rearview. "Just thinking about how we're gonna splurge that big inheritance on pizza rolls and laser tag, buddy. Sound good?" Milo's grin lit up the cab like a beacon. "With extra cheese? And can we invite Uncle Jax?" The mention of Jax twisted the knife deeper. Cooper's ex, his high school sweetheart turned cautionary tale, had bailed 2 years ago, right after Milo's diagnosis with juvenile arthritis. "Too much baggage," Jax had said over a hurried phone call from LA, where he chased some dream of acting gigs and open relationships. Cooper hadn't heard from him since, except for the occasional guilt-laced birthday text. No, tonight it was just him and Milo against the world, same as always. He pulled into the gravel lot of their one-bedroom rental in Fremont, the kind of place where the rent ate half his tips from the coffee shop and the walls echoed with the neighbors' late-night arguments. Inside, the apartment smelled like microwave mac and cheese and the lavender diffuser Cooper lit to mask the damp. Milo scampered to his room, dragging his stuffed octopus, while Cooper slumped onto the sagging couch, the dollar bill unfurling in his lap like a mocking flag of surrender. His phone buzzed, a group text from the family chat he'd forgotten to mute. "Cousin Rita. LOL. Coop. Frame that buck. Maybe it'll buy you a clue why Dad cut you out." Family first, no drama, followed by eye-roll emojis and a meme of a broke clown. His aunt chimed in, "Harlan was old school. Didn't approve of your lifestyle. But hey, chin up, Tiger. God's got plans." Cooper's thumb hovered over the block button, but he just powered off the screen. They'd always whispered about him. The gay son who dropped out of community college to sling lattes, the one who got knocked up, or rather, surrogate on a shoestring, because he just had to play house with some kid, as if Milo wasn't the best damn thing in his patchwork life. A knock at the door jolted him upright. Who the hell? It was past 9, and the only visitors they got were the occasional Jehovah's Witness or the landlord sniffing for late rent. Cooper peered through the peephole, his breath catching. A man in a crisp wool overcoat stood there, rain dripping from his dark hair, holding a leather briefcase like it was an extension of his arm. Tall, broad-shouldered, with a jawline that could cut glass and eyes like smoked whiskey. Mid-40s, maybe, but carrying it like fine scotch. "Mr. Whitaker? Ethan Hale, estate attorney for your late father. We need to talk now." Cooper cracked the door, skepticism warring with exhaustion. "If this is about the dollar, save it. I got the joke loud and clear." Ethan's gaze softened, but there was steel beneath it. "It's not a joke, Cooper, and it's not over. May I come in?" Against every instinct screaming stranger danger, Cooper stepped aside. Ethan entered like he owned the place, shaking off his coat and scanning the cramped space with quiet appraisal. No judgment, just observation. Milo poked his head out, clutching his octopus. "Daddy, is that a wizard? He has a magic box." Ethan chuckled, a low rumble that vibrated through the floorboards. "Not a wizard, kiddo. Just a guy with some papers that might change things." He knelt to Milo's level, offering a genuine smile. "What's your friend's name?" "Oliver the Octopus. He fights sea monsters." "Smart. I'd keep him close." Ethan straightened, turning to Cooper with an intensity that made the room feel smaller. "Your father's will has a codicil, a hidden provision, but it activates only if you accept the inheritance in person. Tonight, we're driving to the estate. Now." Cooper barked a laugh, brittle and disbelieving. "Estate? What, some shack in the woods he left to spite me? Look, Mr. Hale, I've got a kid to put to bed and a shift at 6 a.m. whatever game this is." "It's no game," Ethan's voice dropped, urgent. Harlan Whitaker wasn't the man you think. He left you everything, but only if you claim it before midnight. Trust me, Cooper. One night. For your son. Milo tugged at Cooper's sleeve. Adventure, Daddy? Like in the stories. The weight of the dollar in his pocket felt heavier now, a talisman or a trap. Cooper's mind raced. The mocking texts, the funeral sneers, the years of radio silence from a father who disowned him at 17 for daring to love a boy. What could possibly be left? But Ethan's eyes held no pity, only a quiet fire that mirrored the spark of defiance Cooper had buried deep. For Milo, for the what-ifs that kept him up at night. Fine, he muttered, grabbing his keys. But if this is bullshit, you're buying the pizza rolls. As they bundled Milo into the truck, Ethan insisting on the booster seat check like he'd done this 100 times. Cooper stole a glance at the lawyer. There was something disarmingly real about him, a warmth cutting through the chill. Ethan slid into the passenger seat, his knee brushing Cooper's as he adjusted the GPS to an address 2 hours east, toward the Cascades. Snoqualmie Pass, he said. Harlan's secret. The drive unfolded in fits of silence broken by Milo's sleepy questions and Ethan's patient answers. Rain lashed the windshield, but inside, a tentative ease settled. Ethan shared snippets. A Yale law grad turned small-town probate specialist, divorced from his career-obsessed wife a decade ago. No kids, but a soft spot for underdogs. Your dad hired me 5 years back, he admitted. Made me swear secrecy. Said it was his redemption. For you. Cooper gripped the wheel tighter. Redemption? He called me a disappointment in his last letter. Said Milo was a mistake I'd regret. Ethan's hand landed on his arm, steadying. Letters lie. Men hide. Give it till dawn. By the time they crested the pass, Milo was out cold in the back, Oliver clutched tight. The road narrowed to a hidden gravel lane, flanked by towering firs that whispered secrets in the wind. Ethan's headlights caught a wrought iron gate, rusted but imposing, emblazoned with a Whitaker crest Cooper didn't recognize. Beyond it, shadows hinted at manicured lawns swallowed by overgrowth, a mansion looming like a ghost from another era. Welcome home, Ethan murmured as the gate creaked open on hidden hinges. Cooper's pulse thundered. Home? The word tasted foreign, laced with possibility and peril. As they stepped out into the misty night, the air thick with pine and unearthed earth, he felt the first crack in his armor, a glimmer of what might come if he dared to believe. The mansion swallowed them whole. Floodlights, motion-activated, Ethan explained, flickered to life, bathing the facade in harsh yellow that revealed peeling white clapboard, gabled roofs sagging under ivy, and turrets that evoked Gilded Age excess more suited to the Hamptons than Washington wilds. It was enormous, sprawling across acres Cooper couldn't yet fathom, with a circular drive choked by weeds and a fountain dry as old bones. Milo stirred in Ethan's arms, rubbing his eyes. It's a castle, Daddy, with dragons. No dragons, champ, Cooper said, voice hushed, as if speaking too loud might shatter the illusion. But his gut churned with suspicion. This had to be a setup, some elaborate family prank to rub salt in the wound. His cousins would film it, post it, broke queer falls for Dad's fake fortune. Yet Ethan's grip on the briefcase was white-knuckled, his posture protective as he led them up cracked marble steps. Inside, the grand foyer hit like a fever dream. Crystal chandelier coated in dust, Persian rugs threadbare underfoot, walls lined with oil portraits of stern Whitakers long gone. The air smelled of lemon polish and neglect, like a house holding its breath. Ethan flicked switches, illuminating a sweeping staircase and hallways branching like veins. Harlan bought this in '85, he said, voice echoing. Off-market. Called it his folly. Never told a soul, not even his wife. Cooper snorted. My mom got the boot before I could walk. Cancer took her when I was 10. He blamed me for her stress. Said my confusion broke her heart. The words spilled out unbidden, raw as the rain still dripping from his hair. Milo wriggled down, toddling toward a grand piano shrouded in sheets, his little fingers tracing keys that plinked mournfully. Ethan's jaw tightened. He regretted that, deeply. This place. It's his apology, encoded in legalese. They moved to the study, a wood-paneled sanctum with floor-to-ceiling bookshelves and a massive oak desk. Ethan unlocked a safe hidden behind a false panel, pulling out a thick envelope stamped with Harlan's scrawl. Read it, he urged, handing it over. Cooper's hands shook as he tore it open. The letter was typed, formal, but the postscript in Harlan's looping cursive undid him. Son, if you're reading this, I failed you twice, once by silence, once by cruelty. The dollar was the key, not the kingdom. Forgive an old fool who feared his own heart. The estate is yours, free and clear, but more the trusts, the shares. Enough to bury the past. Build for Milo what I couldn't for you. Love, Dad. Tears blurred the ink. Cooper sank into a leather chair, the dollar slipping from his pocket onto the rug like a fallen leaf. It's real. His voice cracked, a sob escaping despite his resolve. Milo climbed into his lap, patting his cheek with sticky fingers. Don't be sad, Daddy. Grandpa's castle has ghosts, but they're nice ones. Ethan knelt beside them, his hand hovering before resting gently on Cooper's knee. A touch electric, grounding. Real as the rain out there. 20 acres, the main house, a guest cottage, stables. And offshore, investments Harlan squirreled away during the tech boom. Conservatively, 8 figures. The number didn't compute. Cooper, who'd budgeted ramen for Milo's meds, stared at Ethan like he'd sprouted wings. Why hide it? Why the dollar bullshit? Taxes, drama, and Harlan's pride. Ethan sighed, settling on the desk's edge, close enough that Cooper caught his scent. Cedar cologne and clean linen. He knew your family would contest if it surfaced early. The codicil required you to accept the symbolic bequest first, in person, to prove intent. Midnight clause. Cooper laughed, a wet, incredulous sound. So I'm a millionaire because I didn't burn a buck? Milo giggled, mimicking the laugh, and for the first time that night, Cooper's smile felt real, tentative, blooming. But dawn brought shadows. As Milo dozed on a velvet chaise, Ethan brewed coffee from a hidden kitchen stocked like a time capsule. Harlan's Folgers, untouched. Over steaming mugs in the breakfast nook, overlooking fog-shrouded gardens, Cooper probed deeper. You knew him well? For a lawyer. Ethan's gaze drifted to the window, where mist clung to rose trellises gone wild. Intimately, in a way. He came to me after your mom's funeral, drunk, raging about lost chances. Hired me to draft the will, then kept me on retainer for confessions. Letters he never sent. Stories of you as a kid. Building forts in the backyard, your first guitar recital. He was proud, Cooper. Terrified, but proud. The vulnerability in Ethan's voice cracked something in Cooper. A wall he'd built against trust. And you? Why stick around for this midnight run? A beat. Ethan's eyes met his, dark and searching. Because Harlan made me promise. And because I saw your obituary in the local paper last month. No, wait. That's not. He flushed, rubbing his neck. I mean, I read about the funeral online. Your face. It haunted me. The single dad, fighting alone. Reminded me of someone I used to be. Cooper leaned in, drawn by the honesty radiating off him like heat. Used to be. Before the divorce. I was the golden boy, top of my class, corner office by 30. Married the wrong person to prove I was normal. Came out at 42, lost half my friends. Now, I handle estates for men like your dad, closeted kings with regrets. It's my penance. Their knees touched under the table, a spark igniting. Cooper's pulse quickened, awareness flooding him. Ethan's full lips, the way his shirt stretched over broad shoulders, the quiet strength that had carried them here. It had been years since he'd felt this pull. Not since Jack's, and even then, it hadn't burned like this. Milo's yawn shattered the moment. Breakfast, Daddy? Castle pancakes. They laughed, tension easing into domestic rhythm. Ethan raided the pantry, whipping up silver dollar stacks while Cooper chased Milo around the sunroom. The boys' laughter echoing off leaded glass. For hours, it was a bubble. No sneers, no shifts, just flour-dusted counters and stolen glances. Ethan flipped pancakes with a flourish, winking at Cooper. See? Magic box skills extend to brunch. But the bubble burst with a phone call. Cooper's cell, silenced overnight, lit up with voicemails. His cousin Rita, frantic. Coop? What the hell? The executor's calling an emergency reading. Harlan's will, it's contested. Aunt Lydia says you forged something. Get back here. Ice water in his veins. Forged? The family scenting blood. Ethan's face darkened as Cooper played the message. They moved fast. Harlan anticipated, there's a video will timestamped. But we need to file the transfer today, or they tie it up in court for years. Cooper paced, Milo sensing the shift and clinging to his leg. Years? I won't let them touch this. Milo deserves. Ethan stopped him, hands on shoulders, firm. Then fight. With me. The promise in those words lingered as they toured the grounds post-nap. Milo riding Ethan's shoulders through overgrown orchards, apple blossoms dusting their hair. Cooper found a hidden greenhouse, glass fogged but intact, filled with orchids Harlan must have tended in secret. Like him, Cooper murmured, brushing a petal. Beautiful, but caged. Ethan's fingers grazed his. Not anymore. That night, as Milo crashed in a four-poster bed fit for royalty, Cooper and Ethan sat on the widow's walk, stars pricking the clearing sky. Wine from the cellar loosened tongues. Cooper confessed the ache of solo parenting, the terror of Milo's flare-ups, the loneliness that gnawed like damp rot. Ethan shared his own scars, the ex-wife's public outing, the firm's whispers that ended his partnership. I thought I'd never feel again, Ethan admitted, voice rough. Then you walked in, dollar in hand, eyes like storm clouds, broke me open. Cooper turned, their faces inches apart, breath mingling. Ethan. The kiss was inevitable, slow, searing, tasting of Merlot and redemption. Hands in hair, bodies pressing close against the railing. It was a dam breaking, years of restraint flooding into urgency. Ethan's stubble rasped against Cooper's neck as they stumbled to a guest room, shedding clothes like old skins. Skin on skin, gasps in the dark. Ethan's mouth mapping scars Cooper hid under flannel. Cooper's nails digging into the lawyer's back as if to anchor the dream. It was tender, fierce. Ethan whispering beautiful against his collarbone. Cooper arching into the fullness of being seen, wanted, whole. Dawn crept in, but so did dread. The contest loomed, a serpent in Eden. As they lay tangled, Ethan traced Milo's drawing on the nightstand. A stick-figure family with a wizard uncle. We'll win this, he vowed. For all of us. But victory, Cooper knew, came laced with betrayal's sting. The lawyers descended like vultures 2 days later, a convoy of sleek SUVs crunching up the hidden drive. Cooper watched from the porch, Milo on his hip, as Aunt Lydia's silver hair gleamed under the weak November sun. Her lips pursed in righteous fury. Flanking her, Cousin Rita, all Botox and bling, and Uncle Ted, the family patriarch with his Bible-thumping glare. Their attorney, a shark in pinstripes named Hargrove, clutched a briefcase bulging with affidavits. Ethan stood beside Cooper, arm brushing his in silent solidarity, his own counsel team, 2 sharp-suited associates, flanking the steps like sentinels. Stay calm, he murmured, lips to Cooper's ear. Harlan rigged this airtight. The parley unfolded in the drawing room, velvet drapes drawn against prying eyes. Milo played quietly in the adjoining nursery, oblivious, his trucks vrooming over Persian rugs worth more than Cooper's yearly rent. Hargrove opened with bluster. My clients contest the codicil's validity. Harlan Whitaker was of unsound mind, dementia, they claim. And this symbolic bequest? A farce to disinherit the rightful heirs. Laughter rippled from the family side, Rita's manicured nails tapping like castanets. Lydia leaned forward, eyes boring into Cooper. Harlan told us everything, dear. How you shamed him, parading your lifestyle, saddling him with that boy's medical bills indirectly. He pitied you, that's all. This estate, it was for the family legacy, not your folly. The words landed like slaps, dredging up ghosts. Holiday dinners where Cooper sat silent, Jax's hand hidden under the table. The day Harlan found his coming-out letter and burned it in the fireplace, ashes scattering like severed ties. Cooper's fists clenched, but Ethan's foot nudged his under the table. Anchor, reminder. Ethan rose, voice velvet over steel. Ms. Whitaker, your brother's medical records show pristine cognition till the end. As for pity, the video will speak volumes. He nodded to an associate who wheeled in a projector. The screen flickered to life. Harlan, frail in a hospital gown, eyes clear as mountain streams. To my kin, you've had your shares. To Cooper, forgive me. I hid my love in ledgers, but it's yours now, the house, the land, the future. Prove them wrong, son. Be the man I couldn't. Gasps echoed. Rita's facade cracked, mascara smudging as she hissed. That old coot lied. He promised us the vineyard shares. Promised. Ethan's smile was predatory. Verbal? Unwitnessed? My filings show transfers to you all decades ago. This residue? Cooper's by right of blood and burden. Hargrove blustered, but the tide turned. Hours blurred into depositions, signatures, glares across the oak table. By dusk, the family slunk away defeated. Lydia's parting shot a venomous whisper. You'll squander it, just like your mother. Ungrateful. Alone, Cooper sagged against Ethan in the foyer, Milo scampering to the kitchen for victory cookies. It's over. Contestable, but they'll fold. Too much to lose. Ethan's arms wrapped around him, solid as oak. You were magnificent. The high crashed that night. Digging through Harlan's desk for estate docs, Cooper unearthed a lockbox. Letters, yellowed, addressed to him. Not the stiff missives he'd received, but raw journals, Harlan's confessions. Saw Coop at the park today pushing that boy's swing. Pride swells, but shame chokes. How do I bridge this gulf I carved? Another, Ethan says therapy, but God, the regret. If I could rewind. Interspersed. Notes on Ethan. Hail's a good man, reminds me of Coop's fire. Wish I could tell him. Cooper's stomach nodded. Ethan? Harlan's confident, yes, but these hinted deeper. A photo slipped out. Harlan and a younger Ethan, arms slung casual at a bar, grins loose with whiskey. Back read. Proxy for the son I'll never deserve. Betrayal bloomed, cold and sharp. Had Ethan played him? The midnight drive, the kisses. Pity fucks for the dead man's sake? Cooper confronted him in the library. Letters fanned like accusations. What the hell is this? You were his. What? Emotional stand-in? And now you're in my bed, collecting on the promise. Ethan paled, sinking into a wingback chair. Cooper, no, listen. Harlan was lonely, closeted even in grief. He saw himself in me. The late bloomer, the regretful dad figure. But you? From the first file photo, it was you. Your strength raising Milo solo. I took the case because of him, but I stayed for you. Lies. Cooper's voice broke, chest heaving. You pitted the queer screw-up, just like Dad. Ethan surged up, closing the distance, hands cupping Cooper's face. I love you, damn it. Not as proxy as you. The dad who fights storms for his kid. The man who kissed me like salvation. Tears tracked Ethan's cheeks, mirroring Cooper's. Test me. Walk away. But know this, Harlan's ghost isn't here. It's us. The room spun. Milo burst in then, cookie crumbs on his shirt. Daddy's fighting? No, hug it out. He barreled between them, tiny arms linking waists. Laughter bubbled. Absurd. Cathartic. Cooper pulled Ethan close, foreheads touching, the letters scattering like confetti. Prove it, he whispered. Stay. Fight the real battles with me. They did. Weeks blurred into renovation frenzy. Contractors swarming the estate, turning it into Whitaker Haven. A retreat for LGBTQ plus families. Therapy sessions in the greenhouse, playrooms in the turrets. Cooper quit the coffee shop, channeling funds into Milo's care and scholarships for kids like him. Ethan relocated his practice. Their nights a tangle of blueprints and bodies, love forging stronger than any will. But conflict simmered. Rita's anonymous blog posts, Whitaker heir steals legacy from true family, stirred tabloid buzz. Protests at the gate. Lydia's church group, signs screaming Sodom's folly. One night, eggs splattered the porch, slurs scrawled in yolk. Milo woke screaming from nightmares, asking why mean people hate our castle. Cooper's resolve frayed. In bed, Ethan held him through tremors. We're building something real. They can't touch that. The climax erupted on a crisp December eve. A gala fundraiser, black tie in the ballroom, donors mingling under restored chandeliers. Cooper, in a tailored suit that hugged his frame, speech in hand, felt exposed. Milo in a tiny tux, beaming beside him. Then, chaos. Rita stormed the stage, mic snatched, venom spilling. This fraud. Harlan confessed to me. Cooper's not even his blood. Surrogate lies. A bastard scheme. Gasps rippled. Cooper froze, heart plummeting. Blood? The ultimate betrayal. Harlan's final secret. whispered to Rita in delirium. Flashes. Mom's hospital whispers. Your dad's not ready. Doubt Claude. Ethan vaulted on stage, resting the mic. Enough! His voice boomed, commanding. Harlan's DNA test. Filed. Sealed. Confirms Cooper's lineage. Rita, your confession? Forged desperation. Leave or face slander suits. Security escorted her out, but damage lingered. Backstage, Cooper confronted the lockbox again. A paternity report, pristine 99.9% match. Harlan's note. My son always. The rest? Smoke to protect you from their hate. Relief warred with rage. He let them believe it? To shield me? Ethan nodded, pulling him close. His last act of love flawed, but fierce. The gala salvaged into triumph. Toasts to resilience, donations pouring. But in the quiet after, as snow dusted the grounds, Cooper faced Ethan on the balcony. You knew. Guest. Never confirmed. Client privilege. Ethan's eyes pleaded. I chose you anyway. Then choose forever. Cooper's ring, simple platinum, engraved with Milo's initials, slid onto Ethan's finger. Marry me. Here, spring. With dragons for Milo. Tears, yes, joys this time. Yes? Ethan breathed, sealing it with a kiss under falling flakes. Spring unfurled over Whitaker Haven like a promise kept, cherry blossoms carpeting the lawns in pink defiance of winter's scars. The estate thrummed with life. Therapy groups in the sun-dappled orchard, where single dads swapped stories of custody wars and midnight fevers. Art classes in the stables, rainbows splashed across canvases by queer youth fleeing Bible Belt shadows. Cooper moved through it all with a lightness he'd forgotten. Sleeves rolled on his button-down, Milo's hand in his, the weight of the dollar long donated to a shelter, framed as a talisman of turnaround. Ethan fit seamlessly, his law books swapped for lesson plans on family rights, his once-starched collars softened by flour from pancake mornings. Their wedding loomed in 2 weeks. Intimate, under the gazebo Harlan had built for a wife who never came. Invites went to the found family. The barista crew who'd covered Cooper's shifts, Milo's pediatrician with her wry jokes, even a few reconciled cousins who'd seen the light or the headlines. No Lydia, no Rita. Their contest dismissed in February, a quiet settlement buying their silence. But peace, Cooper learned, was a garden needing constant weeding. One overcast afternoon, as he pruned roses in the heirloom bed, hybrids de Forax, Harlan's guilty pleasure. A letter arrived, postmarked L.A. No return address, but the handwriting screamed Jax. Loopy, performative. Coop saw the news. Millionaire now. Damn, you always landed on your feet. Milo's what, 6? Missed the little guy. And you. We were kids, man. Mistakes happen. Room in that castle for old flames? Jay. Rage simmered, then cooled to pity. Jax, the pretty boy who charmed him at 17, promised forever till the flares hit. Cooper crumpled it, but doubt lingered. Was he enough for Ethan? The hot mess turned mogul, baggage included? He confessed that night over takeout Thai in the kitchen, Milo Abed with Oliver. Ethan listened, chopsticks paused, then set them down with deliberate calm. Jax's echo. Your symphony. He crossed to Cooper, tilting his chin up. I chose the man who claimed $1 and built an empire, not the ghost. Their lovemaking was reaffirmation. Slow dances on silk sheets, Ethan's whispers mapping futures. Adoptions, travels, gray hairs shared. You're my redemption, Ethan murmured, breath hot on Cooper's throat. Harlan's gift, but ours to keep. Yet the past clawed back. The night before the wedding, a storm rolled in. Fitting, thunder rattling the turrets like divine applause or warning. Cooper found Ethan in the study, hunched over a file, face ashen. What's wrong? Ethan handed it over. A manila envelope, anonymous. Inside, photos grainy, damning. Ethan and a younger man, entangled in a beach cabana, time-stamped 6 months ago. A note. Tell your fiancé about Maui, or we will. Family values. Cooper's world tilted. Betrayal's echo sharper now. Who? Hargrove's investigator. Lydia's last gasp. Ethan's voice trembled. It was one weekend. Rebound after a case went south. Before you co-op. I swear. The air thickened. trust fracturing like lightning split oak. Cooper backed away, photos scattering. Before? Or during our midnight magic? God, Ethan. Was I just the next proxy? No. Ethan reached, but Cooper flinched. It ended before the funeral. I told you my scars. Scars don't fuck strangers in Maui. The shout echoed, Milo stirring upstairs. Cooper stormed out, into the gale, rain soaking him anew. He ended up in the greenhouse, amid Harlan's orchids, petals trembling in the wind. Sobs racked him. For the boy who'd inherited hate, the dad who'd fought alone, the lover who'd dared hope. Ethan found him there, drenched and desperate. Cooper, please. I hid it from shame, not deceit. You're not proxy, you're home. Cooper whirled, eyes wild. Then why hide? After everything. The letters, the doubts. You let me think we were clean. Because I feared this. Ethan's knees hit the dirt floor, hands open. Losing you. Milo calling me Papa E. The life we're building. Punish me, walk if you must. But know I love you. Flawed. Fully. Thunder cracked, and with it, catharsis. Cooper sank beside him, fists pounding wet earth till Ethan pulled him close, holding through the deluge. I hate this, Cooper gasped. The betrayal loop. Dad Jack's now. Not me. Ethan's lips brushed his temple. Choose us. Break the cycle. Dawn broke wedding day, skies clearing to improbable blue. Cooper burned the photos in the hearth, ashes mingling with Harlan's unsent letters. A pyre for ghosts. Vows exchanged under the gazebo. Milo scattering petals, guests toasting with Harlan's vintage Cabernet. Ethan, in cream linen, eyes shining. I promise transparency, tenderness, the fight beside you. Cooper, voice steady. And I promise belief. In us, beyond the bullshit. The reception spilled into twilight. Bonfires on the lawn, queer anthems thumping from speakers strung in the oaks. Milo danced with abandon, Oliver twirling on his shoulder. As stars wheeled, Cooper pulled Ethan to the widow's walk, rings glinting. No more hidings. Never. Their kiss sealed it, deep and devouring, bodies swaying to the night's rhythm. Months later, Haven thrived. A beacon, drawing families from Portland alleys to rural Dakotas. Cooper penned a memoir, Dollar Redemption, topping charts, proceeds funding expansions. Milo thrived, arthritis managed with estate-backed trials. His laughter the true inheritance. One quiet eve, as fireflies danced, Cooper found a hidden drawer in Harlan's desk. A locket, Mom's photo inside, Harlan's note taped. For my boys, love unbroken. He slipped it around Milo's neck, then joined Ethan on the porch swing, their hands entwined. We did it, Cooper whispered. Human, after all. Ethan smiled, kissing his knuckles. Damn right, and it's just beginning. In the end, the dollar wasn't a joke. It was the spark. From mockery to manner, betrayal to bond, Cooper Whitaker claimed not just fortune, but family. Chosen, fierce, forever.